How's it going today, everybody? This is Kaiju Maniac, your host, bringing you another figure review. Today, we are finally looking at the SH MonsterArts Monster X figure. I have sat this figure down for a month, which is why this video was not up right after Thanksgiving. And, well, my thoughts on this figure have, well, let's just not waste any time. Let's get this over with, okay? Hey guys, quick editor's note. I'm going to be brutally honest in this video with Monster X because I want to be more critical of these figures, especially MonsterArts, and even some of the Sofubi stuff, X Plus Gigantics when I get them, and SH Figuarts Ultramen, or if I happen to review any Dragon Ball figures. So there's going to be some negative things said about this figure. The review's not going to be positive, I can tell you that right now, and I haven't even recorded that section of the video. But I sat this figure down for a month, played with him from time to time, and I really let my opinions of this figure resonate, and I don't have positive things to say. So look forward to that, and let's continue on with the video. Alright, starting off with the paint and detail of this figure, I can say that detail-wise and paint-wise, this figure is almost spot on. I am really liking how the head turned out, the eyes. You can see that the horns are a little bent. They're soft plastic. It seems to be on every single figure. But when we look down, you can see that the skin is molded really nicely. All the bone texture parts also look really good. My one gripe is that it's all shiny. I feel like the skin parts should be matte, a more matte color, kind of like the tip of the tail is that we'll look at here in a second. And that would have really added some contrast to this figure. But he's got big old, well, almost people feet. He's got that big crystal on the back that looks really nice. And all that sculpt detail that's actually on the Bandai Standard Series release as well. And now here you can see the tail is matte at the end here. And then the bone parts are really shiny. I really like that aesthetic. I kind of wish the whole figure was like that. But at least I can give Tamashi the okay on this part. All right, so we're gonna not narrate over this next part for the articulation because there's a lot to talk about when it comes to the articulation of this figure. This is going to be the biggest section, so please stay with me. And this is where I have to start brutalizing the figure a little bit when it comes to rating and overall execution, because this is the biggest and hardest difficulty with this figure. It's why this review hasn't come out for a full month almost. Because this figure is actually physically frustrating to articulate and move around. So let's not waste any more time and let's get into it. So on top of the head, or the top head, the middle head, the main head, we have a jaw. Now the jaw is rubber, so it doesn't close all the way. It bumps open a little bit. It doesn't seal, it opens slightly, but that's not too bad. Otherwise, it holds the rest of the poses it needs to. The neck and head is on 3 separate joints, and they're all on ball joints, so you can look all the way down. You can look quite a far ways up. You know, you can even turn his head a little bit. Although, as you guys maybe can see, all those bone pieces in the neck are all attached to each other. So you got to be careful, and you have to watch it. But it's still nice. Now the shoulder pads / additional heads are on little ball joints. Well, not too little. They're pretty good size in there, actually. And those adjust along too, but they do kind of hinder things as well. But it's nice, okay? It is nice. It's nice having these. Oop, speaking of which, I just popped mine off. Pop it back in. The only downside is that those neck pieces also kind of hinder the movement of these. So, you know, we're at the head and neck, and the figure's already slightly hindering. You know, he has a hindrance with his articulation. So, a little frustrating there. Now the next thing. The shoulders go out that much. That's it. That's how far they go. And upon watching the review, because I didn't know how they worked and I couldn't get him opened up to look. Upon looking at the video, Anthony Customs, he's a big YouTuber. He does a lot of different things. He said that it's a ball joint that connects into the kind of in the forearm area. So it's not even done the way that the typical, you know, Figuarts hinges are. And that's really, really damn frustrating because it limits the range of the arms because they think the bicep twist is good, which, by the way, it's tight, so mine don't move that much. The butterfly is pretty good, but the butterfly doesn't matter if the arms don't go out. And then they got these skin caps on there that if I were to take off, which I'm not going to, would reveal how stupid the skeleton of the articulation of this figure is in the shoulders, okay? All right. So he's got the typical double hinged elbows, which this isn't bad for MonsterArts, 90 degrees, a little bit more. And then he's got the ball hinge wrists, which are super loose. So, you know, you touch them a little bit and they move and shake, but they don't fall off. So that's kind of an upside, I guess. The upper torso and the lower torso allow him to hunch all the way over, which is really, really nice. And they allow him to lean straight up. Straight up. Very nice. He doesn't really have any side to side, and he doesn't have a lot of twist. Mine's super tight. It's why I'm not pushing it. It is there, and on some copies of these figures, you might have that articulation. Mine does not. Okay. Yeah, there. You can see how dumb. This is a sleeve that connects into a hinge, that the hinge is actually the bite. It's so annoying. Not gonna lie, it's so annoying. The legs are the old style. They pull out a little bit, just a tiny bit, and they kick forward. He's got pretty decent forward movement. Ooh. Oh, the hand caught on the leg. Okay. All right. He also has a bicep swivel, or not a bicep, a thigh swivel, but it's so tuck and snug on there, it doesn't really amount to much anyways. This one you kind of see more, but it's more just the actual ball joint moving. The knees are good, and they look fine, so that's actually a really good plus. And then the ankles can go kind of, you know, they can go down, they kind of go up. They don't have they have a little bit of pivot, but not a lot. So ankles are okay. That's not good. The clicking noise is not good. That means the joint's too tight. All right, let me get him up and standing. All right, so I'm not even going to show any of this because something that happened with my figure is that this joint right here, the ball is a little too big for the socket, and anytime this joint moves, it just falls off. But there's a ball joint here that's too tight, a ball joint here that the mold and the ball joint itself is too tight so it doesn't move. This one would be really good if the ball wasn't too big. And then all of these down here, besides the tail ends, are just loose. So this one isn't too bad. You can actually use that one. But then this one, non-existent. The end one, non-existent. And then these two kind of work, but not the most. So you have a figure with a really, really, really cool design, a figure that we've wanted for so long, of a character that needs a little bit more recognition, I would feel like. And it sucks in the articulation department. The one department this figure should definitely not suck in because it is a legitimate humanoid character, and the articulation sucks. Let's go over the accessories real quick in this section too. I've got both different types of hands on. I cannot remove this hand, it just pulls the ball joint out. But you get these ones, which have the more flatter palms. This is for holding, got the little final wars. You'll see that in a few minutes here for the last section. And then you have his regular kind of clawing hand. Well, no, this is actually the 1-2. I guess I took them off last time. But yeah, so there's those, and then you got your regular claw hands, which are nice. So let's look at the size comparisons real quick, and let's go back to narrator me. Yee! All right, I'm editing the video, and I noticed I forgot about 2 points of articulation. You can tell that I'm really trying to rush through it. So let's go through them quick. Yes, so the arms don't move out, but do they move forward? Obviously they move forward. They go up. And well, that one's really tight. I don't want to touch that one anymore. And then they go back pretty well, but they're tight. The other thing I forgot about is actually talking about the hips. So when you pull them out, how far out do they go? And they go out okay. Okay, not too bad. Do they go back at all? Yeah, they go back. So, there you go. Now, we can continue on with the video. All right, now for size comparisons. Here we are looking at the SH MonsterArts Final Wars Godzilla, which looks spot on, unsurprisingly. Here he is with the Final Wars Gigan, also from MonsterArts. Looks very nice. Gigan might be slightly a little large, but are we really complaining? No. Next, we have the SH Figuarts Shinjuku Seiho Ultraman 66 or Hayato Ultraman. This would be an awesome combination, you know, if Monster X wasn't such a dud of a figure. And we are going to be ending it off with the Mondo Cherry Blossom Godzilla 1984 exclusive figure. And, well, that's going to wrap us up with this video. It's not a positive one. If I'm speaking from the heart, is this figure worth $129, $130? Probably not. If you're a hardcore collector for MonsterArts, get it. If you're a hardcore Final Wars or Monster X fan, is it still worth picking up? Yes. But there's a lot of issues with this figure, and mine was a good copy. A lot of people have been receiving them with missing pieces. It's really hard to recommend this figure. Thus, this figure is not going to have a good score, and I don't recommend people pick this up. This figure is going to end up with a regrettable 5 out of 10. I can't, in good faith, give you guys a positive review. So, I apologize, guys. But, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, liking the video if you've made it this far. And, as I always say at the end of these videos, peace, rock on, stay safe. Remember to go to Facebook, go to the Collect All Monster Collectors group, join the discussion with 1,300 other wonderful collectors. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.